years. Tired lace curtains hung in the streaked windows. The front door was bleached a driftwoody gray from over a century of North Georgia sunrises. There was a sag in the roofline, a physical manifestation of the weight that the house had to carry now that the Quinns had moved in. 2 years and a lifetime of discord separated Samantha from her 13-year-old little sister. But she knew in this moment at least they were thinking the same thing. I want to go home. Home was a red brick ranch closer to town. Home was their childhood bedrooms that they had decorated with posters and stickers and, in Charlotte's case, green magic marker. Home had a tidy square of grass for a front yard, not a barren, chicken-scratched patch of dirt with a driveway that was 75 yards long so that you could see who was coming. None of them had seen who was coming at the red brick house. Only 8 days had passed since their lives had been destroyed, but it felt like forever ago. That night, Gamma, Samantha, and Charlotte had walked up to the school for a track meet. Their father was at work because Rusty was always at work. Later, a neighbor recalled an unfamiliar black car driving slowly up the street, but no one had seen the Molotov cocktail fly through the bay window of the red brick house. No one had seen the smoke billowing out of the eaves or the flames licking at the roof. By the time an alarm was raised, the red brick house was a smoldering black pit. Clothes, posters, diaries, stuffed animals, homework, books, 2 goldfish, lost baby teeth, birthday money, purloined lipsticks, secreted cigarettes, wedding photos, baby photos, a boy's leather jacket, a love letter from that same boy, mixtapes, CDs, and a computer and a television and home. "Charlie!" Gamma stood on the stoop outside the kitchen doorway. Her hands were on her hips. "Come set the table." Charlotte turned to Samantha and said, "Last word," before she jogged toward the house. "Dipshit," Samantha muttered. You didn't get the last word on something just by saying the words last word. She moved more slowly toward the house on rubbery legs, because she wasn't the moron who couldn't reach back and wait for a baton to be slapped into her hand. She did not understand why Charlotte could not learn the simple handoff. Samantha left her shoes and socks beside Charlotte's on the kitchen stoop. The air inside the house was dank and still. Unloved was the first adjective that popped into Samantha's head when she walked through the door. The previous occupant, a 96-year-old bachelor, had died in the downstairs bedroom last year. A friend of their father was letting them live in the farmhouse until things were worked out with the insurance company. If things could be worked out. Apparently, there was a disagreement as to whether or not their father's actions had invited arson. A verdict had already been rendered in the court of public opinion, which is likely why the owner of the motel they'd been staying at for the last week had asked them to find other accommodations. Samantha slammed the kitchen door because that was the only way to make sure it closed. A pot of water sat idle on the olive green stove. A box of spaghetti lay unopened on the brown laminate counter. The kitchen felt stuffy and humid, the most unloved space in the house. Not one item in the room lived in harmony with the others. The old-timey refrigerator farted every time you opened the door. A bucket under the sink shivered of its own accord. There was an embarrassment of mismatched chairs around the trembly chipboard table. The bowed plaster walls were spotted white where old photos had once hung. Charlotte stuck out her tongue as she tossed paper plates onto the table. Samantha picked up one of the plastic forks and flipped it into her sister's face. Charlotte gasped, but not from indignation. Holy crap, that was amazing! The fork had gracefully somersaulted through the air and wedged itself between the crease of her lips. She grabbed the fork and offered it to Samantha. "I'll wash the dishes if you can do that twice in a row."